like, but.
They're getting out there better.
Yeah. Except for
Tomorrow? Oh, I thought you were going to say that middle school roads, everything.
middle school. Yeah.
We only had to get yelled at one time when we could.
I don't.
Do you read your emails or? Oh, that's
They're
good.
just a rough.
Bold print, right? Big bold
I
letters.
know. All caps, bolded.
The angry face at the end.
Then he sends text.
I'm just bold and to the point. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Me neither, that's why I called you back right away. Send me a text like that.
Did you call?
I got that text that said,
Right?
Oh.
Tonight.
I didn't know about
of course I did.
And I wasn't. No, I just looked at where
There you go.
that's our entitlement.
I get it
I
now.
was like, wait a minute, that's what.
Busy.
Happy Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just with Jason. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay.
How are you doing?
Good, are you? Good.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. We'll reimburse you. How's that? It's fine.
Not when we bring the whole bus.
Even then, it'll probably be okay.
Really?
She said, just come over and say,
You brought it? Yeah.
What's the secret code that I can use? 25,
21?
22, well,
Okay.
start punching in the juice. 23 and below.
I learned a long time ago just to memorize Chad's.
Right.
yeah, like anymore, you're a baby returning student.
Delta's there now.
I know.
She's there every day now.
She usually does. She does come every day. First one there, she used to be the first one there.
Way too much stress. Dylan Tino. Sarah Lux.
Do extra workout.
Dylan, oh, Dylan.
She's no short.
I know Dylan from that place. He was there once. Dylan.
And Chikopowski.
I'm good. Shouldn't even have that cook.
I mean, the
Good.
authorities mandated maternity.
Just put the diabetic code.
Get one good day.
Georgia, she lived.
I read my dad so bad. He's got major sweet tooth.
We have family members getting limbs cut off because of it. We got somebody taking it serious.
Carol,
You knew that Ron lost part of his leg, huh, Sandra? Yeah. He take care of himself. He's lucky that's all they took.
Yeah.
Somebody never did. Last week we got about 10 or 20.
So that's how cool it was. And the majority of it were
Go more. It's different. It's good.
March 1 and then
Ted.
day 0 and then 1 0.
There's this little friends down there, up there hunting. She's done very good job. Really glad we went down.
You got your big no today, right?
I'm a big no. The key? Yeah.
Those are special keys, so you don't want to be handing a lot of them out.
Yeah, no. It's like, well, this.
And usually we get together and
Lost
sit
it.
around.
But
Good.
Yes.
Who lost their keys?
And we got to talking about our ancestry, and I just learned, last year that my daddy may be my uncle. His brother. And then I found out this weekend that there's another situation with 2 other
You do?
brothers. Same thing.
One of the very few.
That was,
No.
when Casey went to school, then she knew some of this
No,
already.
I won't.
And they asked her to use her. They asked her to do her family tree.
I'll be proud.
She just threw up her hands.
Where's that post
She
office?
said it's a bush.
Got in there, I'm glad I got this stuff done.
Those are, yeah, those are.
I went back like twice, and I should have just stayed in line the first time. Yes.
It's on Willow.
That's what she said. She said she was so happy to see
Damn tree blew over on the building, huh? Damn tree blew over on the building.
Where is she?
She's up, she moved to Hot Springs about a year ago now, her and Paul moved too.
We were trying to take that down.
So do you go to Hot Springs with them?
I'm going this weekend. I go a lot.
Tomorrow it's coming down.
I had a hard, I didn't go at first because I would have had a hard time leaving Amelia there. I would have just like stuck her home.
She's all trained now.
Yes, she is. She is potty trained.
How old is she now?
Yes, she did.
How old is she now?
She's 2.5, she'll be 3 in December. Yeah.
Holy buckets.
Yep, she's getting
I
old.
think I'm gonna have
Yep,
enough
she
of
says
that.
she wears her big girl
It says
pants.
I can go 6
Size 2 toddler.
I think I'll just,
If we were in the.
She was really happy to see you guys. She said she got, glad she just could talk to you and visit with you.
No, we'll get some high wind.
She made a point of
Possibly hail.
being at work.
It's not hot enough for it when you.
There.
It'd be very rare.
Somebody said cross country was Apple Week. Oh, Apple Week,
We're
yeah.
not gonna get it. I'm not gonna say 100%.
How are you? Tired and
And
haven't
when
had
it's
it.
gone, that's how did it go?
I am, you know,
Maybe summer, she take that too. She was stressing over.
this will be on the
Don't come out of the room, you know, tell me good luck, don't do nothing, and you're going to be fine.
Debbie Jones, that'll be on the agenda next Tuesday for discussion. That's what I went to today.
Yours is 830. You know what it was? Some Saturday or Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
We're like, good
That
job.
was interesting. It was an interesting meeting. It was good. Glad I-
Yep, and then the next day I had to go check out and stuff, so I did that. Started about 2 out of the jail. I left the jail about 1 in the morning. Yeah, Ron said as soon as he gets his.
Are you sure that answer makes sense?
Can't speak for the others.
Just pulled over to make sure.
Who knows?
it did
I
make
hope it
sense.
is.
I got it. And I explained it to the person who needed it.
I fixed it, I mean, I can make my own assumptions.
Yeah.
We get more places. I just thought we were there yesterday. It is 5:30. Huh?
5:33.
5:33. Sorry about that. Gina will be late, but she's on her way. The only thing I want to do before we adopt the agenda is move the goals first onto the agenda. Do our goals first for the agenda. So, with that, I need a motion to adopt the agenda with goals coming first. Moved by Travis. Second by Sandra. All those in favor say yes? Yes. Roberta, you're on. I had asked Roberta to lead this for us.
Alrighty, so Friday Melissa called and asked me if I could answer the question, where did we come from and arrive at the 5 goals that are behind you? And it took a lot of digging, and thank goodness I'm a hoarder. I had a lot of documents that I could go through. Good. So what I prepared is just refreshing everybody of what goals we have. So goal 1 is our student achievement goal. It was, it read before that we would decrease or basically narrow the gap, and then it was changed in Dr. Bordeaux era to now where it reads, students will be proficient in all the learner outcomes, which were developed years ago. Goal 2 is our environment goal, creating safe and healthy educational environments not just for the students, but as well as our adult learners. Goal 3, of course, is the curriculum, sustaining that comprehensive curriculum cycle, which we are currently in. Goal 4 has to do with culture, and this is really developing the collegial culture among our adult learners. And then, of course, goal number 5, partnering with parents and community. The only goal that has changed since 2009 is goal 1. Goal 2 through 5 has remained the same since we implemented these goals.
Which one's the only one that just goal 1 changed?
Goal 1 is the only one that has changed, yeah. The other ones have been assessed and we were moving towards updating, I should say. So how did these goals come to be? Starting way back in modernization times, the early 90s, our school district started helping schools with their local school improvement plans. But it was really driven by money, not so much what we needed to improve on. So all of a sudden here comes NCLB. NCLB starts to shift things a little bit. So starting in 2002, the Department of Ed started looking at hosting and doing regular events and such to help improve the ways schools were doing school improvement at that time. 2004 to 2007, we had some district audits that were conducted. Recommendations were therefore made to us as a district, and from that, we started seeing more technical support and advisors that were coming into our district and helping us in the realm of school improvement. One of those things was a recommendation for us to receive a corrective action consultant. So in 2008 is when the department recommended Doris Ray.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
Doris Ray came in, and that's really when we started shifting a lot of how we did school improvement or how we approached it, not just at a district level, but at a skill or a school level. So with that, in about 2008 is when the district improvement team was put in place.
Yeah.
And we had members from each grade, building level, our grade levels. We had school board members. We had community superintendent and people from the office, the CIA office. Her role was really to help us develop and implement if you look down the bottom of that, is high quality improvement plans. Not just district level, but school level. When the district improvement team first met, the members put together kind of like a histo-map where we sat down and we looked at all the way from kind of modernization to where we currently were at that time in 2008, what was going on in our district. And there was a lot going on in our district.
I remember that.
So with that information, we were able to pull out some themes which therefore lended themselves to the goals that are now on the wall.
Is somewhere in the district still that map? Because I remember we wrote it out and we were going to save it.
The original map, no, but there is a document that I
Okay.
came across today. So, excuse me, with the goals that we have, what are their functions? And obviously they're to help us reach our target, which is our vision statement. They should be connecting us to our mission statement, which really says why we exist. They should provide short-term success and help us maintaining that focus. Help us see the opportunity of progression or regression and where do we need to tweak things. Provide a framework for school improvement, provide sustainability, articulates what the district wants to accomplish. It's really a communication tool for all stakeholders, not just those of us that are in the district, but those, our families, the communities, businesses and such. Accountability, of course, and they should be continually assessed. And when you're assessing the goals and the process that we used to go through, whether you were on the district improvement team or on a school improvement team, you looked at what was the current reality, what were some of the objectives, what were some of the strategies, the action steps that we were going to do, who was responsible for those, was it measurable with a completion date. Each one of our goals at that time had a subcommittee, and it had a district person who sat on it, as well as some other teachers throughout the district with expertise in that area, and that really drove the action that was happening under each one of those goals.
And when did we stop doing that, Roberta?
I think the last time that we did that was in 2000, we're in 16, 17, 14, 15, possibly.
Okay.
So at least close to 2 years ago, a year and a half to 2 years ago. So for example, this is the way that the plans used to look. So I took district goal number 5, which is still currently our goal. What did we want to accomplish as a district? And then some indicators of achievement. So it showed how would we know that we're reaching goal number 5. And then we created the assessment piece. So it always hold the current reality. So the objective at that, under 5 back then, was to establish the district level parent and committee council. And then it has, what steps are we going to take to reach that? Who's responsible for that? And you can see there are the committees. The process or how we were going to measure it, and then a completion date. And these were continually, this was like a living document, we assessed it all the time. It kept coming back and different team members would get on and assess where we were at. So very short and briefly, that answers your question as to how we came to be with these goals. Now you can ask me all the questions you want.
So, is there anything wrong with our current goals?
I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think it's time to go back to start discussing them and seeing what are we currently doing. Because we might not be doing something currently that matches that. Because what I just explained is a more systemic way of looking at them.
Yeah.
And right now, we've got so many moving parts that we're kind of moving in several different directions rather than one systemic direction.
So, it would probably be in our best interest to go back to the model where we had that district-wide team, and you have those school teams, and you had that meeting about what's currently on the wall before we change anything.
Yes.
Are
I mean,
we
that
in
would be a
agreement
starting
with
point, I
that?
think.
That's starting point for that. Huh?
I don't know why we quit.
Well, see, I don't know why we quit either. I guess nobody seems to know why we quit. So, like in regards to the goals, we reinstated them because we had inadvertently taken them out. And I think that we go back to that, that's just my opinion, we go back to the model that you just went through and reevaluate what's on the wall before we change it.
So you're talking like, you used to have it a district-wide?
Why, yeah.
And then each school would have their
Own
own
school
school improvement.
improvement, each school would have their own team. And then these drill what theirs were, I mean, theirs were also these with
So
the
like the
indicators.
district would have the overarching one and then.
Yeah, and you tiered down. And it used to work then, because you can remember doing these forms like Roberta has here and coming to board meetings because we split it up. I mean, you had to do one every year, and every school came, we split it up into 2 meetings because the school board had to approve them. And then once a month, half of you came one time, half of you came the other time and gave an update as to where your progress, what percentage of progress and what you were doing to, because I remember that parent chart you guys had, this is what we're doing to try and get parent involvement. You gave a report on your parent policies
Each goal separate.
on each separate goal. It was a template. Is that still around here somewhere?
Because we moved from utilizing that template that you're looking at now, then we moved into using South Dakota Leap, which was an online tool, a platform, and that's where we did a lot of our school improvement. We used turnaround indicators, we had to assess so many a year, we had to have different meetings, and now we've moved into a different template from that. So we've gone through, this will be the third change in that.
So what is the state recommending? Do you know what is the state using?
The state is using what we're currently using now. And it's just mainly a reading goal, math goal, an attendance goal. And then there's places where you still can plug in what you're doing for parent activities and such, but it's not as concise as what we came with.
So what would, what
But
is
it's
your?
another compliance one, right?
Okay.
We have to do it, so.
Yeah. So would these fit in with what the state is requesting of us?
Just a different way of looking at it. And I think we've just implemented, I mean, we can all say in this room that we've implemented several things over the last
Yeah.
maybe 2 years that we just need to figure out where do those things fit into these 5 areas? Do they fit? Because that's what's supposed to be driving us right now, from that mission statement to those 5 goals.
Does anybody have a problem with our current 5 goals? Anybody in the audience want to comment on our 5 goals? Ms. Rhodes, what do you think of our 5 goals?
What do I think? I think I know that we took a huge amount of time developing them, and I believe they're very valid goals. And I think what we're doing now does work with our goals. It's just, they're attainable goals. That's what we're working towards.
Well then, what do you think, Board? Are you good with the goals, the current goals? So go back to the model, the direction would be to go back to the district-wide and go back to the school. Is that what I'm hearing from all of you? Put that in the bank, run with it.
Run with it. All right. Any other questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Roberta?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, we did goal setting. We're gonna move on to approve grant proposals for submission. But I see we have a lot of people here from Oak Creek, and are you here for Oak Creek School or for the grant? Proposal.
Oak Creek School.
Okay, well, since you're all here, why don't we do Oak Creek School? We'll start, we're just going backwards in our deal, so we're gonna do Oak Creek School. And this is to discuss the building with the community members and the shape of the building. So we wanna hear from you. We've had some of our board members. I went out last spring and did a walkthrough. Sandra is your board liaison person for your school, and she did a walkthrough. And we're out of space out there. We have special ed happening in a hallway. We have band happening in the gym. I just don't know what your feelings are on it. Hilda.
Yeah, I guess we know the current situation out there, kids are there. So you don't have to tell us how it is. But I guess my concern as a parent is, what are your guys' ideas first? I felt like it was put on our plate as a parent. So I want to see where the school district's at first in their ideas.
Well, we're gonna have a facility meeting shortly and decide about, do we have the funds to build the building down there? Because we know we have to build the building, but where to build the building?
Okay, what about the current situation at hand though? We have 46 kids in one little elementary room, building. My concern is fire safety, as well as the little ones getting hurt with the bigger ones being in those little bathrooms. I've worked down there, I know the space. The floor, I'm wondering about the structure of the floor. Waiting for a kid to fall through. Just safety concerns just come to mind now.
Especially winter coming up.
Yes. They roasted to death in there since the beginning of school. Now we have another child that has a broken foot. She cannot manage around in that classroom. I don't know how you guys think this is working, but it's not. It's affecting their learning too.
We had several meetings. We went to the community, to the gym. We invited the community. Nobody came, but we made several attempts. This is our 3rd attempt. We didn't know what else to do. We can put classrooms in the gym. As far as buildings, we don't have any other buildings.
What about the community center? I've offered that. I've offered to run for the school district in securing that. Maybe moving half of them up there, something, we gotta do something.
And they told us no?
We asked your community chairperson,
We have a new chairperson.
and,
Nobody told us that.
and we didn't know how long we were going to need the space there. And it was an indefinite time, and so she said that she didn't feel that she wanted us to use it if we didn't have a time period. Because we could indefinitely use that space, and she didn't feel that the community would be in agreement that we would utilize that space indefinitely.
Did she say why?
Because the community might want it for something else, and there we would be, plus we would have to put secure factors in there that might hamper the community because we would have all of our equipment up there too.
And that's the deal is, I'm not sure why she said that because, speaking as a community representative, I'm the treasurer for the community, that was never brought to the community's attention, except for what I was going around saying to privately. I think that is something that is feasible, that the community is more than willing to work with. I'm just speaking on behalf of our new chairperson, and it's Ramon Goodbucklow.
Is it?
So, and I'm, again, the treasurer, so I've been willing to work to get those kids up there. That building hardly is ever used except for summer food and if, or when maybe a funeral or
Or birthday.
our birthday party. But other than that, we have the elder side too, that we can utilize our community stuff with.
One of the things I want to say, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, we don't want to go backwards. We can't do anything about that. We just want to move forward with the interests of our kids, or the best interests of our kids. And you know, we can't go backwards. Just, we need to do something for our kids right now. We're getting more kids daily, and we're a little crowded, but Oak Creek has always been a place, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that they do what, you know, they do what they were told to do, and they don't, they just go along with it, you know? And right now, we're just full to capacity, and we just want to move forward with the best interest of our kids.
Got a new kid coming in. I have a small classroom. It's probably about as wide as this room a little bit, and probably about yay wide there. So I got in there filled with desks on them, and there is almost no free space. I have them crowded up against the walls in order to have a free space in the center for us to do like morning circle and stuff. And with 16 big kids, like most of them are about this big on average.
And no air conditioning.
And the AC is out. I get no cold air when it's hot out, and I don't know if the heat works or not. So come winter time, that's going to be another problem to possibly just work with.
I'm glad that you guys put this on the agenda, and you know, you guys are trying to get the input. But I think, I mean, just from my perspective, there's been a lot of quick decisions, and I don't know why, but I wonder why. I know the school's condemned, or it's recommended that it's condemned.
Recommended for.
And I think that it's, looking at the situations right now, and went down there for a family night, you know, it's a concern to have all those kids in those classrooms. And I was talking with the teacher and asking him for his input, because he's the one that has to be there all day. And, you know, I was talking to my kids, trying to pick their brains too as well. And, you know, I think it would make sense to, for our interim, get the kids back into the bigger building, even though it's old. I mean, I think that would be one step. But what I'm getting at too is I think it seems like there's a lot of overreaction, because you know, there was some reports of some of the equipment on the playground that was kind of dangerous, and someone made a decision just to gut out the whole playground, so there's nothing down there now. You know, the swings were fine, you know, and there was just a few outdated equipments down there that, you know, teeter-totters that were broke for years and stuff like that, but I don't know why everything was gutted out, you know, I mean, all the kids just gotta stand around at recess now. And the same thing with the building, I know they put a lot of money into the building as far as heating and cooling over the past 5 years, and then they put surveillance systems in there, and I'm sure IT equipment and infrastructure like that. And I was kind of surprised. I knew that it was condemned and that, you know, we were concerned that kids had to walk on the ice over to the gym just to use the restroom. And there's dogs on campus and stuff, but it seemed like those concerns turned into shutting the school down completely. And I mean, it's just sitting there, and I'm sure you guys are heating it and cooling it, and you know, and it's unused space. And I'm pretty sure that Mr. Weber and the kids would probably rather be in there than be cramped into that little building. So.
Tim, can you, we had thought about moving them back in there, but we had heard that the community was absolutely against us putting them into that building.
I mean, I'm not the community either. I'm one person,
Yeah.
you know, and so that's part of the problem too.
I guess I would want you guys to share the report you guys received from BIA so we all have a better understanding of the shape of that building.
That report should be posted at the school. They're posted at all of the schools.
I haven't seen it. Maybe mail it out as well?
Can we get one right
I've seen it on the board docs. That's the only place I've seen it.
Tim, can you talk about the condition of the building in the Dale report?
Before I get into trouble with my boss, Chad, I let everybody know that I am not an architect. And that's been brought out several times. I've toured the building also, and I was hoping we could get all the board members down there. The BIA condemned it for a reason, that they don't want the responsibility, they don't want to put more money into that building, which they haven't anyway. So they totally put it into the school district hands. And so at this point, it's going to take some money to get it back up where it's functional. And the bathrooms in the basement are a big concern, which they can be fixed. But we got to talk again with Chad, what money's available. But in my opinion, it's usable, and there's 5 classrooms that could be used. The problem is handicap accessibility. That building can never be made handicap accessibility without putting an elevator in. But in my opinion, I told this to several people that we could probably use it for 1 more year until we decide what we're going to do. And the other alternative is not very nice. Nobody's going to want to hear it, but I'll put it out there that if we can't do that, then we're going to have to bus them in Mission.
There's no room in Mission.
I know, but where we go, there's no room out there either.
And I would just want to homeschool my kids if that was,
I'm just telling you, these are the options.
if I had to send them to Mission. There's no reason for them to be in Mission.
We can't put
Could
a
we get
building
that
up.
printed off so
A
we can see
trailer?
them?
Oh, God, Chad. You want to chime in on the trailer? We've had so much problems over the years with trailer houses, we don't want to go there anymore. They're just not designed for classrooms.
What happened to us getting one of the 4 norths then? I know that was part of the original plan, Trav. That was part of the original plan.
They're all separate.
Melissa, Chad, what happened to possibly getting one of those 4 before you guys turned it over to open bids?
As far as trailers go,
The 4 down at North.
personally, I don't think the long-term answer or the short-term answer is a trailer at Oak Creek. I think we need to tackle a harder issue, and I've made this recommendation to the board that we need to actually look at building. Now, the problem is, do we have access to land there? And that's where we're gonna need the community's help. I think if we prioritize and choose to put a building out there, we can get that done. It's a choice we need to make. I can no longer work through the bureaucracies of the Bureau and the leases that we currently have there. Oak Creek itself was funded in 2004. I was here when that was. I have the architect plans down in my office, actually funded. And then at some point in time, some bureaucrat in DC decided, no, not gonna happen. And no one can answer, as we've gone through the process over the last 10 years, where that funding went.
Wow.
So it's been a constant fight, and it's very apparent that no one wants to take care of this issue. We need to accept the fact that the kids are ours, and if that's the solution, then that's where we need to go. Trailers, to me, are not the answer for anyone in this district. And I would rather push towards a harder, long-term decision in order to make this right than try to put a Band-Aid on it with a trailer. That's my opinion.
And
So with the land issue then, Chad, what are your options then, or what are you looking at, or?
well, if you want to talk, like currently, like the situation at Spring Creek, we purchased the building and it was already on land. So it was a good fix for that. We talked about, just a couple board members, maybe using the parking lot. But then again, we gotta work with the tribe, getting land. If not, there was, where was this
The
mission?
Catholic Church had some.
Land for sale or would sell us
It
that
would
building?
be ideally for us to build right there at the school because the gym is there. And I think there would be space there for us to build. But the tribe owns the land that all of the school buildings are on. The tribe owns all of that. And so it would be up to the community to ask the tribe if we could build right there, build a building right there. I think that this board has said that building a building at Oak Creek is a priority. We do have the funding to build a building there to house all of the kids, but we would like to build right there where the current school is. But we would need the tribe's okay to build a building there.
So how much land do you need? I mean,
Well, you guys are community members. Where would the optimal place be
To
for
build
that
it.
community?
next to the gym? I mean,
Right.
We're not, I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean,
And that's what we've talked about.
That's what we would like to do and be able to connect it, maybe do a a thing where they were connected.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day when it was built,
not ours.
is that a floodplain? You know, we got, nowadays it's probably gonna be considered a floodplain.
To the west.
To the west, back
Is
when
it a floodplain? That was our
where
other
the old
question.
playground was, you know?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, who knows, nowadays it might be
As
considered.
far as I knew, it was not. That was never a floodplain down there,
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, we thought maybe the parking lot, then shifting the parking lot over where the trailers are, you know, building right there, but once again, that's not our land that we can say we're gonna put up a building, so.
So I guess my question is then, whose responsibility is it to approach the tribe on that? Is that the communities? Are we going together as a partner?
I mean, I can't speak for the whole board, but I would be there with you, so.
So are we in agreement?
Because I guess the reason why I'm asking is the community itself works with TL. We lease tracts of land from TLE constantly. We work with an individual that assists the community in doing that. So we kind of are familiar in securing tracts of land from TLE and are negotiating with them.
Nice.
So that's why we're asking, I guess.
I have a question to the board, all of you. Are we in agreement then that our facility priority is building at Oak Creek? Can we say that as a board?
We have said that. I mean,
Okay, so then,
That's what our business is, you know, education and our kids. So I mean,
Okay.
That's what, and facilities everywhere, that's what we need.
so then if the board's direction is to build a building at Oak Creek, but in the meantime, until we can get a building at Oak Creek, would the community be okay if we utilize the old building, the BIA building there, so that we have space? Are you okay if we use the top half of that building?
I mean, I would ask that you guys look at the BIA recommendation, because, I mean, it does say, you know, demolish. Or what's the exact words?
Recommend for demolition.
Okay, so I mean, I would ask that you guys look through it first before you say, yes, I want my kids in there. Because we as a board seen that, and if something happened to the kids, then this would be a different meeting, obviously. You guys would be after us about it.
how could we get a copy of that report?
Ms. Rhodes, do you have a copy of it there?
I can get it off board docs.
Yep.
Yeah, I have it too, so.
I mean, speaking from experience at Heat Out in Spring Creek, those efficiency plans, and if BIA would come in and they can close you down just like that, because they did that to Spring Creek. We had to move out right away. We even had teachers living upstairs, and they had to vacate immediately, and BIA stood right there until they were out.
Can somebody print that off board
So I
docs?
mean, if it came to that, I mean, BIA.
Is there any here that can put that on the board doc?
BIA building.
Phyllis is gonna try and get that printed so that you guys can see it before you leave. But Miss Dillon has a question.
Okay, there's plumbing already in that building. How hard would it be to put 2 restrooms upstairs?
You'd lose part of a classroom doing it.
Those
You could do it in the
those
office.
classrooms are huge. They are nice, they're well lit, they look very nice.
And the bathrooms downstairs could be fixed up too, just as well.
Well, I think the basement issue is more of a foundation issue than it is a bathroom issue, when you look at the safety report.
Yeah.
So I think it's a much bigger issue than saying I can come in and fix the bathroom.
One of the walls is blowing in.
Yeah. And so there's very much structural issues there that I would caution that being the route to go. Remember, it is not our building. I think that's the most frustrating part for people to understand.
That's what I'm wondering.
We actually lease that building. It's not our building, so whatever we try to do, there are hoops to jump through in order to get it done.
But what I'm wondering is if we can get it from them, can we demolish it and build over it?
I don't
That's
think
my
we'd
question.
ever have that. They
They're
would
never
never
gonna
let
do
us
it?
demolish it. I mean, historical.
We don't want to
If we wanna
demolish
get something
it
done, we've gotta
because of
do it
the abatement,
without them.
that's gonna be
So just
involved
on
in
the
it.
other side.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, and there's not enough room between. It's been a while since I've done that.
But can we utilize the top half of the building?
We've been using it for years, and it's been recommended to be demolished, so.
Well done.
Only for 2.
Another concern I have, if we are going to move over to the new building too, is the sewage. I know at graduation time, we had some sewer company down there and, I don't know if that's even been addressed, cleaned up, Tim?
Yeah, well, there's a company going around now doing the lagoon now, so once they get that cleaned out, then they can start doing the sewer lines to the lagoon. But they are old, the pipes are old. And they're not up to code, so.
And that's a community overall issue, right? That's not just that
No,
school.
not just the school, the whole community. Like I say, if we have to use it, I don't see a problem using it upstairs. Like Chad said, you better read the report first before you guys make a decision for us to go forward. But at this point, we don't have a lot to do, no options.
Ms. Rhodes?
Well, when I look at, and I'm fine with using the top of the building. However, what does that say to our kids? How we value them? What does it say, how we value them if we put them in a building that isn't sound and safe? I mean, I'm fine with using the building,
But
but I just,
they're kind of in one right now, it isn't.
yeah, it hasn't been inspected yet.
I mean, this trailer is really not,
Trailers are deteriorated.
yeah, it's probably not made as well as the big one.
No, it's not.
And we put stuff for kids in there.
This is just a short term, it's not long term they would be in there. This would be short term until we could get something built there, decide on a piece of land that the tribe would let us build down there to build something. Yes.
When you say it just, what time frame are you talking about? If you got that land approved, when would you build that facility?
Mr. Blatsky?
You have to do the A&E zone first.
I mean, there'd be quite a bit involved. Year and a half.
What's the budget for the new building?
We have not got into any details on that. What we do is kind of look at the population itself, where we anticipate that population going, how do we serve that? Yeah, I mean, that's all a part of, the preliminary planning that you would have to do. I think one of the goals would be to get rid of trailers, not serve any student in a trailer up there. I think that's, if you're gonna build, you're gonna build it that way, so.
And historically, what's the enrollment been, so we base it on that and,
35.
I mean, maybe go for a 60,
We're 45 now.
population of 60 kids and,
You know, a lot to keep probably in your thinking, but, if Mission is full, and if you put a new building up out there, there's a chance that you're going to have even more kids in Oak Ridge, right? So, you might kind of look a little bit beyond maybe 50, 65, whatever, enrollment. I don't know, just the cost, but.
The bigger the school, the bigger the cost,
Right.
too.
Sure. And you only have so many dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we still want to build them something for our current kids that are there, you know?
But we've had students being sent to us because there is no room for them in Mission. So that's going to continue, right? We have students that aren't allowed to go to Mission because their home is in Oak Creek and Mission is full. That's what the parents are being told.
But if they're grandfathered in, if they were there when North and South were in existence, then they're, so any new incoming kids have to go to their home communities.
I thought if they had a sibling, they got to go too.
I don't know, all I know is grandfathered in. I don't know, maybe the sibling thing, I don't know.
I don't know, that's never really came to the board. That was kind of a decision the school made.
School administrator.
School administrator.
I don't know, I wasn't part of it.
Well, let me confirm what Chad says about the existing building is that doesn't belong to us, and we have to get permission to make any alterations to that building. And they're recommending condemning it, they might not even say, no, I mean, there's no way we can put any changes into that building. So we've got to.
So.
Chad,
can
was
we
you
do a
saying
motion
in
for-
2004, there was funding that was coming in for that?
Yes, yeah.
To fix it, and then they jerked it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Be built.
Good, I can show you guys the plans sometime, just stop in my office, I've got
Or was to build a whole new?
Yeah.
You have the plans for a new school?
plans for us, yeah.
Well, we didn't get them over.
Well, we've tried the last 10 years, this is what we're dealing with.
Are we still on that? We finally made it on the list though, correct?
No,
No,
I
you
thought
got,
we did. I
Yeah.
seen us on the BIA repair and restructure list. Us, St. Francis, there was.
I think if you look at the current list the way it is.
St. Francis's picture was a picture of their newly constructed school. But I've seen us on the repair and restructure list on BIA,
Oh, we should be in the top for the region.
so I was just wondering if you guys knew where we were at on that list.
as far as we know, we're not on a list.
I've seen it.
They haven't shared it with us.
I gave copies to Dr. Whitney. I can go back into my stuff and dig it out, but I've seen it. I gave Dr. Whitney copies of it.
That goes back.
Note that.
We made it on the list. That's what my celebration was about.
You gotta give it to us.
I will.
I wouldn't bank your kid's future on that list though, if there is such a thing.
But it's an accomplishment, Chad. Don't take
Well, no,
that
we've
from us.
worked on it, we've worked at it, but personally, I don't think it's there in the current list the way it is. Because we've been to DC many times, we've had many meetings on it. Many promises, many broken promises, so.
Yep.
Ms. Rhodes, so just for clarification for myself, did I hear we would like to move some classrooms into the main building?
Well,
But we have to get permission, or is that?
I'd like you guys to see that report, and especially the
I will.
parents. I mean, we don't have all the parents there, obviously, but it's,
I have it.
But that's why we.
Why don't you guys mail it
introduce
out and take input up to a certain point in time and then.
Well, I think Chris can do that for us.
I can
mean,
do that
that's
for you.
easily done.
Yep, I have it.
And don't you have, do you have teacher conferences coming up this week?
Yeah, I know.
So at teacher conferences, could the parent, do like a survey and say, here it is, and do a survey to see what parents are okay with it? Well,
Chris, on Thursday, we're supposed to have a special meeting. I'm not sure if that's still in there or not.
I can get, all
if
of
the
them.
community can agree that they want to utilize that space until we can get something built down there, I feel that the board is in agreement that you can utilize that space. Does the board have a problem with them utilizing that space?
if
No.
parents are in agreement.
If parents are in agreement to
And
use
if they're
it.
not, then we'll go talk to them.
Again, that's why I said it felt like you guys overreacted a little bit for cutting it in the first place.
We didn't realize, actually, in defense of this board, the board didn't realize that that happened until it happened. That
Who
wasn't it.
decided that then?
Our superintendent made that decision.
Where's she at?
She's in Chicago, she'll go.
It's always easy to blame the guy that's there.
I can put put together a survey, and I'll make sure that all of our parents,
Kind of like the Finch survey, yes or no?
I
Nothing
can,
too hard, one
I can
question.
get that done, and I can get copies of the report to everybody. And we'll just report to it. But I want to say thank you for having a dialogue with us, because we, I think we're set to go forward no matter what. We got a staff and parents that want to work together for our kids, and I appreciate that you had a dialogue, that you allowed us the opportunity to talk to you.
We did bring it though, twice. This is like the third time, so. Just throw that out there, I'm just saying.
First time for us, so.
We have to act fast, because the weather's coming.
So it needs to be a decision from the community right away because of the weather, so that you can get in the building if that's the choice that you want to go, if that's what you want to do.
And for right now, maybe we should get your heating looked at, if you don't think it's working, so. Put that request in and get her done.
There's electric heat in the basement, and there's heater electric.
For his trailer, he was asking about, yeah.
There's no AC in that one shed at all, never was.
Never was.
Yeah, there's
Like the gym?
Whenever we go.
Middle school. Decided to throw that out.
I don't know if any comments in YouTube.
Something wrong here. AC's out.
Something wrong happening.
Tonight.
I say that every day in my room.
If Oak Creek, yes, Ms. Rhodes?
Oh, I was just waving goodbye.
Oh, okay. I want to thank you all for coming, and
Time is of the essence.
time is of the essence. You'll let us know, Ms. Rhodes?
I will.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Rhodes.
Thank you
And
for the
thank you, Oak Creek, for coming. And Wilda, would you please share that report with the board that you got?
I sure will.
Okay, yes.
Just one more thing. There is this fear, if we move back into the building,
No, you're on our radar to get something built. You are our number one priority. I can say that for the board. You are our number one priority to do something at Oak Creek.
Thank you.
Hey, Wilda, can we check on that land deal? What steps do you think we gotta do?
Can you check right there at the school?
The land?
Right there at the school?
Yes, Ms. School and I are gonna go and we probably have to see chances.
So right there at the school?
Yeah.
Because even if we have to, we can do it in the parking lot. Move those cars out.
Make a big circle and I'll tell Mr. Woodknife, give me those maps.
Because even if we have to do the building like right there, so we're still.
The parking lot and then the trailer parking lot.
Yeah, because it ends at that gravel right there and then so far up to
So we can move the
there.
parking lot.
I know the boundaries of
Yeah.
where we're at, so. Yeah. And then probably.
Well, that's what I told Deb. The minute we push all these kids in, I guarantee it, that's when it's gonna happen. The sooner we get access to land, and this goes to any community out there, the sooner we have access to land, the sooner we can build. We have,
Have that negotiating responsibility. So,
Get us some land.
okay, I will. And I'll find that report.
Thank you, Wilda.
Yep, thank you
Thanks for
guys.
coming.
Yep.
Grant proposals. Tonight, we have to make a decision. Are we gonna submit all three? Are we gonna submit one, two? What are we gonna do?
Well, actually,
What? You can talk.
okay. Just butted in like I
I know.
Aries, Sage, and Chris worked together and to just submit for the middle school. And the reasoning is because a lot of our kids at the achievement school are at that same grade level, and it would be easy to implement, once we get our model up and going at the middle school, it'll be very easy just to transfer it over. And we're looking at servicing 25 kids versus 400. So for the amount of planning that Sage has already done and what we wanted to do, we all worked together to work on the middle school proposal.
Cool. So we just submit them both and see what happens?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Looking at you, Chad.
They combine.
Well, I don't think they're looking at me.
Well, I guess I'll ask each of you, are you in favor of submitting the two proposals? Because they've combined theirs, submit the two proposals and see what the state does with them.
I am.
Go for it.
Sage?
I would just like to say something on behalf of the owner. I'm just gonna take this all back to like, the flag song. In the flag song, there's composed by Alice Chips and other people like him. They fought for the United States even though they weren't citizens yet. They didn't make citizenships until the 40s. But yet they fought in World War I and II. We all probably have relatives that have fought in those wars. And underneath that kawapa that you have in there in the center of this room here, they always, when he composed this song, he said, Oya tekian, wichin changecha, this future generation, this is why I'm going to fight underneath this flag, is the future generation. And so when I see all these schools on here, that I think all these schools should have applied for this grant. They should have had the heart to look out for these Native American kids that need that opportunity. I did my history, did my work on it. They put together a committee, the state did, Indian Education Committee, and they went out and they did their research, they did the work. The next year they came back and they said this is what the recommendations are for the state of South Dakota's Department of Education for Indian Ed. And then, the Secretary of Education, she openly admitted that, K through 12 curriculum was failing Native Americans. Probably very hard for her to say that, but she did say it. And it's been something I've been looking at for the last 10 years and researching when were we ever successful here in what we're doing. And as an educator, you gotta ask yourself that the next year you're gonna teach. Is this year gonna make a difference? Am I going to make a difference? And then we look at our graduation rate and all we have is hope. We have hope as humans. So I ask you, just look at it as I just said it. Let everybody have opportunity at this grant. That's what it was for everybody to get that opportunity to have that chance to try to do what they think is best for our children. So I just wanted to put that out there because there's other people that were before us that had a vision for the younger generation. We need to keep that alive and think that way, so we're stronger if we all work together as one mind. So I Wopula Kini Chapo, thank you for listening.
I think we're in agreement that we'll submit what was given to the board. But I think, Sage, I think that even if we don't get a grant, the stuff that you came up with and the stuff that Mr. Heinert have came up with, I think this board has already said that we still, even if we don't get this money, we still want to do these things in our schools because we think it's vitally important to all of our schools. So even if the middle school would be the grant school, the stuff that you're doing, we want to do that stuff in our other schools too. I mean, the extra money would be great, yeah, to help to change that model, but the stuff that came from your proposal and Mr. Heiner's proposal and the stuff that we heard, those are things that, you know, those are needed, they've been needed a long time, and we recognize that, and I hope we get a grant, but even if we don't get a grant, I still want to move forward. I think this board feels that way, that we still want to move forward with those things that you brought. We still want to carry through and make those things happen in all of our schools for all of our kids. So, motion to approve the proposals. Make it the whole of the proposals. By Sandra? By Gina? By Sandra. And that should read all proposals. Questions? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
And just thank you guys for all your hard work.
Thank you for all your hard work. I mean, they were great, outstanding.
Yes.
So I wish you all the best of luck. And I hope whichever way it goes that we will support whoever gets grants. Thank you.
In saying that, make sure you read our proposal. We added a piece in for our teacher recruitment piece that we want to do next year.
Okay.
Huh? Well, Mr. Mosner, Sage, and myself were talking today, and we talked about how hard it is to recruit teachers to even come here. We would like to make partnerships with state universities for students that are entering their junior year of education. Have them come here and teach summer school for 3 to 4 weeks. At the end of that 4-week period, if there's somebody that we want to have back, offer them a contract right then, and they'd be committed to Todd County when they leave, they graduate from college, and they get a $2,000 signing bonus when they show up here to work. And you're like,
I'm thinking that $2,000, my money brain is like.
Well, and the thing is that you can ask Aries or people that have been here, that came here. You know, once you get here and you've experienced it and you've seen it and you know the people, you don't leave.
Yeah.
Getting people here is the key, and getting them to experience that. So we added that piece into the other piece that we talked about the other night. So, but we want to do that next year. This summer.
We're gonna have a general discussion item, but then before we get to that, we have a motion Mr. Blatsky has to move forward, to finally get moving forward on our 2 8-plex apartment buildings for all the new teachers that Dana's gonna hire us. They have a place to live. We need to get moving on that. And that's gonna be a thing to attract because we don't have space for teachers. Right now, we have teachers living in houses in dorm room style, and they're adults that got out of college, and they shouldn't have to move into a dorm room style. They should be able to have their own little apartment.
Move
on that.
Oh, second.
Moved by Gina, second by Debbie Jo. One more thing I want to say, so there's no misunderstanding when it comes forward. In our policies, these 2 new 8-plex apartments are no pets allowed. And anything new built in Todd County is a no pet zone. With that, I need a.
No smoking, right?
Yep, no smoking, no pets. All those in favor?
Second. Oh, we
Gina,
we're voting.
all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
So it was myself.
Move forward,
Joe,
Ms. Serbotsky. We're at general discussion. If there's anything anybody needs to bring forward. And I follow that.
Okay.
I do have a question about tomorrow night's meeting. Are you having general discussion allowed tomorrow night?
Thanks, Deb.
No. Tomorrow night, the board will meet in exec starting at 5:30 to an undetermined time when we will be done. After we're done, we will move on what's on the agenda, our motions, and we will adjourn.
So as the face of the teachers, I'm just going to say this. We're not happy with our agreement. We want to reopen. We want to work less days and we want more money. Can I say that? I mean, because that's basically what you're doing. you're opening up a door. You told us that there was no money. If we had money, I sat across the table from both of you. If there's money, we'd give it to you. And then all of a sudden there's money to hire administration that we haven't needed before. How many motions has this come to the board and failed, and you're still going to beat the dead horse? That's all I have to say.
Noted. Moving on. Does anybody else have anything for general discussion? Okay, then I'm gonna, and Chad and Phyllis, you don't have to wait. Oh, did you read something? Are you sure? We'll let you talk, Maxine. We got a general discussion item. Okay,
I'm good, she said.
you're good?
Yeah, she dismissed me.
Okay, what time
We're
is
just
it?
going into exec. I don't-
And we're excused.
At 6 o'clock?
6:30.
6:30.
Motion to go into exec at 6:30.
Who did it?
Huh?
Who did it?
Moved by Travis,
Second by Sandra.
second by Sandra. All those in favor, say yes.
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 Sure, Isaiah.
As soon as everything